Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Here we are, May 22, 2024. A day of baseball has ended in which Baltimore has officially been swept for the first time in the 2024 MLB season. It also marks the first time that they got swept in 2 years. The last time that they got swept was the merry month of May. May 15th, 2022, against the Detroit Tigers. Fast forward. 2 years later, they play the Cardinals. Coming off a series win against the Seattle Mariners at Camden Yards. They travel to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, where they just got outlasted by this Cardinals team, which looked to be considered as not the best team in baseball, definitely not. A team that's still rebuilding, as you can clearly tell, but they have a lot of young talent like us that just found a way to not only win the series, but sweep us. They put us out of our misery. Matter of fact, let's take a look at the stats. After today's game, a 5-4 loss, which was completely devastating to hear. The Orioles had a 3-0 lead before the delay happened early on in Game 3. Where it mattered most, where we had to avoid yet another sweep happening. A delay happened, and what happens? The pitching staff just found a way to collapse. Interesting enough, in the late innings, they found a way to collapse in the 6th inning. You had a 3-1 lead, and then a 3-run inside the park home run happened in front of your very eyes. I already mentioned in my last video when I had my conversation with my friend who's a big Seattle fan, shout out to my man Brighton. I mentioned this in my last video that we do not have a quality pitcher that can deliver in big moments. We don't have a quality pitcher or reliever that can close out ball games for us. We can't get a quality reliever that can close out ball games for us at the right time. Worst of all, when it comes to 9th inning closing situations, they blow it. Tough loss for the Baltimore Orioles today, on which on one side, the streak is over. A 2-year stretch of not getting swept has officially come to an end. But we're not here to talk about streaks or whatnot. We're here to talk about how we move on from this loss, heading to this next series against the Chicago White Sox, because that's the series I'm mainly prepared for. A 4-game series against the Chicago White Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. I mean, coming into this series against the Cardinals, obviously I expected us to win at least 1 or 2 games in that series, but I didn't expect the Cardinals to come out here and dominate us. You take a look throughout the entire series, ladies and gentlemen. The Orioles got outscored 14-8. Combine it. 3 games, they got outscored 14-8. Game 1, you give up 6 runs. Game 2, you give up 3 runs. And then today, 5 more runs. It just shows you don't have the best pitching staff in the league. As far as offense goes, which was the best in the league, but still the best as of now. Game 1, you only put up 3 runs. Game 2, you can't get more than 1 run. Today, you left everything on the field. A much better game than the first 2 you played in St. Louis. But other than that, Tough series. It's a tough series. It is a tough series. But all that matters is that you move on from it. And they get ready for the White Sox tomorrow. Heading into Sunday. And then after that, get ready to play 2 division opponents. 2 division opponents against the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't care about this streak of not getting swept anymore. It was honorable. I appreciate it that you guys are going to win ball games, which is mainly part of who we are as a team. But at the same time, you got to learn how to overcome a lot of adversity. And you got to learn how to overcome a sweep like that. And I remarks the first time in the Adley Rutschman era and Gunnar Henderson era that they have suffered their first ever sweep in their career against a team that has no expectations at all this year. Now, I'm going to be honest here, guys. They are still considered a playoff team. Yes, they're still hungry. They are still hungry for a championship. They're still looking forward to going on a deep run in the playoffs coming off of last year's magical season. But there's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of competition ahead of us. And I hope we can learn from this series what we can do better as a team, as a whole, and what we can do to improve our quality of baseball heading into the middle of the season. That's what I hope from the Baltimore Orioles moving forward. Now, do I have faith and trust that they can fix the mistakes? I'm 100% going to say this, that they are going to fix those mistakes. And Brandon Hyde talked about this in the press conference today, that he admired the Cardinals for what they've done throughout the entire series, that they were just a better team. Every time when we suffer a loss, he admires the opponent, which is honorable. That you give them credit right there for what they've done against you guys. But then at the same time, he points out the mistakes that were made on the field right there. And they will fix it. They'll make the adjustments early on. They made some tough moves, however. They DFA'd Mike Baumann. Ron McKenna claimed off waivers. And then he keeps shuffling the lineup as the games goes on and on and on. So, hopefully, they can make the changes moving forward. And I'm confident that they'll go out to Chicago and play better baseball than what they did in the Cardinals series. As of right now, we're like 2.5 games back or so out of first. The Yankees are about to get victory right now. Now I know it's early on in the year. We just hope that the Orioles can learn from their mistakes, play better baseball moving forward. More importantly, that they'll overcome enough adversity to go on a deep run heading into the postseason. They're still hungry for a championship, like I just said. And I'm confident that they'll get the job done. Alright? That's all I gotta say, y'all. That's all I gotta say. And leave me a comment down below. Who do you think is going to be the best team in baseball moving forward? Because Phillies have 36 wins now that they're going to beat the Rangers in a blowout. Yankees with 33 wins. And then, of course, you can't forget about us. Almost getting to 30 wins or so, despite the 3 losses that we just suffered against the Cardinals. Dodgers and Braves, they seem to be clicking on all cylinders, including the Cubbies too. And then you also cannot forget, let's see. Oh, yes. The one and only, what was it? Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians, Kansas City Royals. There's a lot of great teams out there in the American League that I cannot leave out. But we'll see what happens heading towards the middle of the season. With that being said, that's all I got to say, guys. We'll see what happens moving forward. That's all I got to say.